So this is a Coachman Pastiche 5454. It's going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got a jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. You'll be taken through this in person here on site. Also the ATC will be demonstrated and how that operates. In the front locker you've got your gas regulator on the bulkhead with the gas pipe. We do have the gas pipe work here available should you need it. And in the front locker we have two gas bottle tie downs where you can carry a maximum of two 6 kilogram propane gas bottles. On the side of the caravan, you've got your heating and hot water flue. You'd never cover this up, you need to leave it open at all times so it breathes. It's very similar to what you got on the side of your house for your heating systems. Down the bottom here, you have your wind down leg on either side of the van through these little holes, and they are there to stabilise the van, not lift the caravan. If you lifted the caravan with these, you could potentially damage the floor of the van. Next up you have your water pump connection. Very simple to use. You pull the blue trigger back to release it from the side of the caravan, and you pull the blue trigger back and push it into the caravan to fit it in the side of the van. You then have your water pump that actually drops down inside the aqua roll itself. Next up you have your battery box. So you have your two battery connections, positive and negative, and then your mains power lead coming into the side of the van, which plugs into the power on site. Next up we have the motor mover and wheel nuts. The motor mover, like I said, will be demonstrated while you're here, and we'll show you how that operates, and we'll also torque the wheel nuts before you leave site so you can see they've been tightened correctly. You've then got your grey waste pipes that simply come out the side of the van, so the fresh water that goes in the front has somewhere to come out when it has been through the sinks and the shower. You put your two bits of grey pipe in the larger diameter holes on the outside, and they'll drop down into that waste tank. At the back of the caravan, on either side, you have your two wind down legs to stabilise the caravan again, and like I said, they are only there for stabilising, not lifting the caravan off the ground. On the door side of the caravan, you have your toilet flush tank. This takes 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. Then at the bottom, you have your toilet waste tank itself. You release it by pulling up the orange handle and pulling the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. You've got a measure for the pink and blue fluids. Now on the back of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you are tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Behind the door you have your two fridge vents. The two fridge vents are very simply there to allow hot air out the back of the fridge unit, and so it can also take some cool air in. Behind the top one you'll also find a gas flue for the fridge system. Inside of this particular van you have a awning heater, so once you've got the heating on inside the caravan you can actually open up the vent here on the side, and if you've got an awning up it will actually warm the awning as well. Next up you've got your wet storage locker. So essentially the wet storage locker is there so if you've got any wet items at all you can put them in there, and also in there you've got a 3-pin socket so you can have power out to your awning. At the front of the van you've got your barbecue gas point. Very simple to use. If you have a barb connection that pushes into the bottom here and locks in place, and then you need to turn the gas valve 90 degrees to turn the gas supply on to that particular item. Going inside the caravan now. The caravan hasn't been cleaned yet, so I do apologise, but it will be cleaned before you collect it. Above the door you have the main control panel. So you have your master power switch here to turn the power on and off. As you can see, you've got your water pump run on the right hand side, which I'll come back to in a moment. You have your internal lighting and your awning light for the outside of the van. You do have some further options in the control panel where you can come across, so you can see your battery voltage, your internal temperature, and the time. The enter button is there so you can change the time, for instance, so you can come across, press and hold the button, and it'll allow you to adjust the time on the clock. First thing you're going to need to do is, once you've got the power plugged in and you've got your water connector on the outside, is fill the water system on board the caravan. Now underneath the seat on the right hand side, at the front, you will see two yellow drain down valves. Both of these valves need to be parallel with the floor. If they're upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain the water system down. So as you'll see in a moment, the water system is actually already full on this caravan, hence why the valves are in this position. Like I said, if they're pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, all of the water on board the caravan will drain straight onto the floor. So do make sure you've got them closed before you turn the water pump on. Once they're closed, you can go over to every tap on board the caravan, open them all up on the hot side. As you can see, I've already got water in here. I've turned the pump off so it shouldn't pump too much through. Once you've got all the taps open, you can come over to the control panel, again above the door, and turn the water pump on. It'll come up water pump on the screen, and the water pressure will start building in the system. It'll also start filling the system, and once it is completely full, water will flow continuously out of every tap on board the caravan. At that point, you can shut all of the taps off, and you're ready to start heating your water on board the caravan. So on the opposite side of the caravan to the sink, so straight opposite the sink, as you can see, we have the main control panel for your heating and hot water. So in here, you've got, or on this control panel, you've got on and off on the bottom left hand side. The next one across here is your internal room temperature for the caravan. So you've got minus, so you've got temperature down essentially, and temperature up. To set the temperature, you'll press the set button. It'll make a bleeping noise and it'll go back to the home screen. It'll then tell you on the bottom left hand side of the screen what you currently have it set up to. Obviously at the moment, as you can see, it's 29 degrees in here, so we don't actually need the heating on. However, if that temperature is above this one, then the heating will cut out a bit like your household heating. The middle button here controls what power source you're going to use for the heating and hot water. This is only relevant to the heating and hot water. The rest of the appliances on the van will run individually. So as you can see at the top there, you've got 230 volt, 4 amps, 230 volt, 8 amps, gas on its own, 230 volt with 4 amp and gas to boost it, and 230 volt with 8 amp and gas again. To select which power source you want to use, you can use the arrows down the right hand, up and down arrows. And once you've selected the one you want to do, for instance gas, hit the set button and it will self-ignite on gas. Now if the gas isn't turned on, it will fail to ignite and it will come up on the screen warning you of that. But you would need to make sure the gas is turned on before you try to ignite it. Go back to the 4 amp setting. On the right hand side here, where you've got this tap symbol or shower symbol, it's actually your water heating. So as you can see at the moment, the water heater is turned off. To ignite it, we'll press the down button here and hit set at the same time. Now the water heating will start kicking in and it will warm up to 60 degrees of water temperature. Just going to turn that off for now. So that is the water heater turned back off, but that is your heating and hot water control panel. As I said, to turn it off, you'll press the power button, and you always need to remember to turn that off before you turn the rest of the power off in the caravan. So that has so it shuts down properly. If you shut it down with the power on, it will come up with an error symbol. All you need to do is hit the set button and it will reset the control panel. On the opposite side of the van, you've got your grill, hob and oven. They work very much the same as a household appliances. 240 electric ring will only work when you're on mains, and then your 3 gas rings will work on gas as you'd expect. Same with your grill and oven, and then you have your igniter on the front, also a bit like your household appliances, but like I said, 240 only for the electric ring. On the opposite side, above the fridge, you've got the microwave, and again, that works like your household microwave. However, please do remember to remove the microwave plate before you travel. And you must have this door open when you're using it. Down below, we have the fridge. Now again, the fridge is quite simple to use. You press the power button here, hold it in. The fridge will kick in. Go through its loading motions. Now at the moment, you can see the fridge is trying to ignite on gas. It will actually fail in a moment, and it will bring up a fail. It will bring up a warning, a number 9 on this side and a spanner symbol to let you know it has failed to ignite. On gas or mains, you control the temperature of the fridge on this button on the right hand side. To change the power source, you hit the button on the left hand side, and at the moment it's now gone to 240 mains. So if you connect to mains power, that is the power source you'd use. You then got 240 mains, so essentially the A that come up on this side a moment ago, let me go back to it, is an automatic mode. So whatever power source is available, it will start to use. You've then got 240 mains on its own, and that will simply kick in and do as it needs to do. And then you've got 12 volt mode. The 12 volt mode is for when you're towing down the road. And as you can see, it's flashing at me, letting me know there's no 12 volt source connected. The 12 volt source is from the car you are towing with, not the 12 volt battery on board the caravan, and it will only operate as you're travelling. You do not need to have the control panel on above the door. You just need to simply come inside, turn the fridge on and select the 12 volt mode once you're connected to the car. So the last thing we're going to go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. Toilet system on this particular van is very simple to use. You have an electric flush on the toilet just here. You have a toilet full indicator light, so this will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself, as you can see, does turn for your convenience. However, when you're removing the cassette from underneath the van, you need to make sure you turn the toilet seat back to the central position. If you don't, when you try to remove the cassette under the van, you could potentially break the cassette and the mechanism for the toilet. Down below you have your toilet waste hatch. You have this waste hatch open when you're using the loo, so the waste goes into the cassette under the van. And when you finish using the loo, we do advise you shut it off. And again, if this is open when you try to remove the cassette, it will again damage the top of the toilet cassette itself, so always make sure it's shut off, along with the toilet bin in the central position. So this is the Coachman Pastiche 545/4. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you come to collect your caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.